Welcome back, already lonely basement baseball cards. Now, guys, can you do 4 card shows in one day? Can you? No. We did 3. We could do 3. We made 3 card shows today, guys. We have unpacked our backpack. She's unpacked. We are ready to show you our card show pickups. Happy Sunday, everyone. If I act a little funny, it's because my arm is killing me because of this nerve pain in my back, which needs to be addressed. Needs to be addressed. Doctors. No fun. But it is what it is. It's not going away. I made it feel a little better with ice. I made it feel a little better with Aleve, but not really better. And after a long day of card showing, of hobbying, it is sore, and I'm just looking at my lighting, kind of going like this. And my arm is sore and hurting in my upper shoulder from my neck, holding the card up. But we're going to power through for you. We powered through in the basement. You know, I turned off that dehumidifier, and it is on. Hold, please. We're back. All right, guys. We first went to Mount Kisco today. That was our first trip today, Mount Kisco Card Show. We always love the Mount Kisco Show, one of our favorite shows. And we saw our friend Brett, great dealer Brett, and we saw Dan's Vintage Baseball PC, set up as a dealer, slinging the cards, making the greenbacks, and always great to chat baseball and cards with Dan. We talked a little National, we talked a little baseball, little Yankees, little Yankee Mets, and we bought some baseball cards. So, guys, let's start with Mount Kisco, and we'll start with Brett. And Brett, if you remember, at Strongsville, is the one who secretly hid the 77 Lou Piniella Burger King in the stack of cards for me to find. And we went through some of Brett's boxes, and these are not Brett's cards. These are Brett's cards. Look at that. We're out of order already. We haven't even started. We got a nice little stack from Brett. Look at that. Deion Sanders, top straight, 1989. May have it. This card may come up later in the program. We picked up a nice 60. Hector Lopez from Brett. That is a beautiful card from his bargain boxes. We grabbed a 58 Bob Grimm, which we needed for our 58 team set. A Pedro Ramos. No hat. Pedro Ramos looking like Pedro Ramos looks on a 65 Topps card. A little Jim Coates. Jim Coates always pushing Don Mossy for the ears. Could not quite get there, but he tried. Old Jim tried. His beautiful 63 Topps. A little Ryan Duran action. No sunglasses. We got the glasses, but no sunglasses in the 61 Ryan Duran. Come on, Ryan. Horace Clark, 67 Topps. Good old Horace. Great second baseman for the 60s and early 70s Yankees. Very good player. Tommy Tresh, 67 Topps. We found 2 Burger Kings we needed for the 78 Burger King run, the Gidgery. There's the Gator. We had to check our numbers to make sure they were Burger Kings, but they were. And a Donnie Gullet. I really don't want to buy this card anymore, guys. 78 Don Gullet. I think I have like 5 78 Don Gullets. I kept buying them when I was building the team set over and over again. And now I bought the Burger King. The final one forever. More fun stuff we found in Brett's boxes. Brett always has the fun boxes. This cool Dwight Gooden. Didn't even know what year this was, actually. 90... Let's see. 97. 97. Dr. K. That's a cool card. Saw that in there. Had to have it. It's a great card. Little Donruss action. When they still had a license. We picked up a Paul O'Neill. Can't hurt to grab a Paulie in a bargain box. Drake, Steve Kemp. I hope I don't have this Drake Steve Kemp. 83 Drake Steve Kemp, because I don't need doubles of that card. Steve, outfield first baseman. Pre-Donnie baseball. Donnie shoved him aside. We picked up a Tollison, Wayne Tollison, Donnie's best friend on the Yankees. We have this whole set in a box, but why not? It was in the bargain box. We'll put it loose in our traded set collection. We'll go last on that one. Quaker Granola, Ricky. That is just great. More food snacks for you in the basement. Speaking of, we found a hand-cut Drake's Ronnie Guidry. We did not have this card. We found a Dave Winfield in there. Nicely cut. And why not? Drake's Don Mattingly again. Couldn't help it. Couldn't help it. And last but not least, Brett knows me. He knows how to fill his boxes when I'm coming. The Drake's Reggie Jackson in nice condition. Beautiful Drake's Reggie. It was actually funny because I bought this from Brett, and then I turned around. Dan and Brett were right across the aisle from each other, right next to each other. I turned around and went through Dan's boxes, and Dan had a very nice copy of this card. Also, Brett won the day by being first. And the last card we picked up from Brett, I had to buy this card for $1. 1974. Boston first baseman outfielder. New York Yankee Thurman Munson. Miscut. That will go lovely in the Munson collection. Could not pass that up. Could not pass that up. That is a great card. Boston Yankees. That is what we got from there. From Brett. Thank you, Brett. Good deal. Now, Dan, we turned around with the Dan. We just got 2 cards from Dan. We went through his bargain boxes, but we did find. And Dan, I owe you $1. I owe Dan from Dan's Vintage Baseball PC $1. Not gonna lie. OPG 84. Dave Winfield with the All-Star selection. I do not believe I have this OPG version, so we picked that up. And we picked up a Burger King. 80 Ron Guidry Burger King, which leaves only 1 card for the 80 Burger King, which is the Reggie, which we need to find somewhere out there in the wild. And then we will have completed the 80 Burger Kings of Yankees. There are only 2. And which would leave us with a few 78 Burger Kings to pick up. Thank you, Dan, for the deal. I owe him $1. You didn't have change. Next up, guys, we left Mount Kisco. We wandered Mount Kisco. I'm going to tell you one quick story. This story is about learning how to buy. And Sammy did a very good job talking about dealers on his last video. And this dealer, about 2 years ago, I saw this guy. And he's an, older dealer, kind of rough around the edges kind of guy. Lots of boxes, sloppy boxes. And I was super excited when I saw him 2 years ago or so. He had this box of Yankee cards, and it was just Yankees. And they were like, he's like, everything's 50% off. I just got this collection. I'm retired. I'm not selling anymore. But I drove down here to push these cards out. From this friend who wanted me to sell them for him, but I'm kind of done. And he was kind of a gregarious, interesting guy. I'm talking with him, and I went through his boxes, and I bought a big stack. Cool 70s cards for my early days team set runs. And maybe not the best condition, but, early days, I was like, wow, look at this. Yankee cards. Let's go. And I bought a big stack from him. 50% off everything. Oh, it's 50% off stickers. Let's go. Come 2 years later, I see the same dealer in Mount Kisco, and he's got the same boxes. And they're all 50% off. Same guy. Same deal. Same business model, as you will. And I find it funny because I went through his boxes just quickly, and I was immediately like, nah, there's nothing in here I want. Nothing that's going to do it for me. And it kind of just made me realize, 2 years ago, I would have been buying these cards, and now I'm like, we all evolve. Quality, condition evolves. Knowing what you can get for what prices definitely evolves, and learning dealers' tricks evolves. And I just thought it was interesting, kind of crossed my mind. at the Mount Kisco Card Show today. So that was Mount Kisco. We bought a couple cards from Dan, a couple cards from Brett, and we hopped in the car, the trusty Prius, and we started driving. We had just crossed the river over the Bear Mountain Bridge, the beautiful Hudson River. Well, now we had to go back across the Hudson River. So we crossed the Tappan Zee Bridge, the Mario Cuomo Tappan Zee Bridge, going the other direction, and headed south about 45 minutes to the Garfield show. Garfield has a lot of vintage. There's always a lot of good vintage deals there. I was hoping to see Brian Fish and his dad, the Venezuelan dealers. They were not there, unfortunately, so I did not get to see them. But I did see some plenty of vintage. There was a lot of decent dealers there, and we bought some stuff from a couple of them. There's one guy I bought this big stack from. We got a good deal. He had a little 3 for $10 box, or 3 for $1 box or something like that. And we made a deal down from there. But I actually pulled all these cards, and then he was like, somebody walked right up and gave him like a whole stack to look through, and he's looking through. I'm waiting. So I put him back in his $1 box in a specific spot in the back. And I went back like 2 hours later. They're still sitting right where I left them, and I went and grabbed them. We got a Ralston Purina for your doggy. Ronnie Guidry, nice card. This top loader says $29.99. I might have got ripped off. We found this beautiful 83 All-Star Game commemorative Topps All-Star card for Dave Winfield. Did not have that one. These top loaders, a little sketch. I might have this, the 82 in Action Guidry, but for like a quarter, why not? It was sitting there, and I wasn't positive I had it. Star sticker Ronnie Guidry. A lot of Guidry today. Star sticker Guidry. Threw this one in there. I had an odd number of cards, and it was like, he's like, oh, get another card for $1. And I was like, why don't you take $1 off? But what I did was I made it an odd number of cards in my hand on purpose, so we'd have to come down the $1. That was my business plan with this guy. I grabbed the cards. I was like, oh, let me get one more, put it in there. It'll be an odd number. He's never going to want 50 cents, and I'll get him down to $1. It worked. Buyers have tricks too. So I picked up, this is the one I threw in, the Rigetti 1982, the rookie card. Ooh, already have it. Why not? Double. I don't think I have this, the Ken Herbeck, Dave Winfield. I have the team set, but I don't think I have this card in the team set. So I picked up the Ken Herbeck and Dave Winfield. Ken Herbeck was a pretty darn good player for a while there with the Twinkies. I found this. I bought this 85 Negro, Phil Negro, because it was a Leaf. I had to buy the Leaf. Obi-Chan Leaf, I got to buy him. This 86 Guidry was a Leaf. I had to buy it. It was a Leaf. And finally, Leaf, an 85 Rigetti. You don't see 85 Leafs laying around all day long, so why not for the team sets? We picked up a Leaf from that dealer. That was like $4 or something like that. There you go. Next dealer is this guy. Now, we bought that Hector Lopez from Brett. And then we went to a completely different state. I bought the same damn card from this guy's Yankee box. This one's nicer than the one I got from Brent, but the one from Brent was like $1, and this one was like $3. But this is nicer. Can't have too many Hector Lopez 1960 Topps cards. Great outfielder for the Yanks. It's a beautiful card. I don't mind having two. This one's nice and centered. That brings me to another dealer guy. Thought about dealers. There was this one guy, because it kind of made me thinking. I was watching Sammy's video in the car, and it made me think about all this stuff. There's this guy at Garfield who I bought cards from before, and they were okay. They were a little soft, but like I looked at them quick, and I got a decent deal, and then I got home and I started taking them out, and I'm really looking at them. Like, no, these are like not as good as I thought they were at quick glance. And he was there, and I looked through some of his stuff, and I kind of did the same thing. I was like, and I moved on. So it's interesting if you have an experience with a dealer, it can kind of, be permanent. Maybe I should give him a second chance. Jake Gibbs, 1962 Topps. That is beautiful. The Jake Gibbs rookie star. This card is actually very sharp. I haven't taken it out of this dirty top loader yet, but hopefully these are all... None of them are min size, we hope, because this one's pretty sharp. but I paid the sharp price for a 62 J Gibbs. I think he charged me like 12 bucks. 71 Bobby Mercer. I needed this card. I almost bought this card somewhere and graded, and I didn't really want to spend the 40 bucks to have it. It was a really nice 5, and then I just saw this one. It was $4. I can't say no to $4, so it may hold a place. It may be permanent, but a 71, beautiful backs of 71 tops, 71 Bobby Mercer. The facade and the flags flapping in the background. That one was beautiful. And we didn't pay $4 because we got a good deal. And a little high number action. Yep. $4. Again, we didn't pay $4. Jim Magnuson, 72 tops. Again, this one's actually very sharp. And we needed it for the 72 team set. The team sets, interestingly enough, before we move on, are getting more expensive. I'm down to 72 and 71 tops, 70s complete, and then I'm in the 60s, and I'm down to a handful of 72s and 71s, and those high numbers are a little expensive. But some of this, you start getting into these 60s and 50s, and you start going $5 a common, $6 a common, $8 a common, it starts to add up. So I'm thinking of maybe focusing a little more on the mid-level cards, which I've been passing up for the high-level cards, because if I have to pay... you can get like a nice 59 Elson Howard for 30 bucks, 40 bucks. If I have to do that, would I rather do that or buy like an $8 common? You know what I'm saying? So buy the bigger cards. That's my set collecting theory. Buy the bigger cards first. So I might pivot a little bit and try to get some of those other cards before I spend $12 on a common. Next dealer. This guy was a cool guy. We talked to him for a long time. Told me he had about 500 to 700 Don Mattingly cards at home. I told him last count I was about 620. 620. Not counting doubles, obviously, and not counting really piles of modern cards. I only have a few. So those are mostly playing days cards. So he had this card sitting there, and I was like, if I buy this, I have it. But I don't recognize it. I don't think I have it. But if I buy it, I have it. $2. But we got a good deal. Donnie. 1927 Yankees stamp heritage collection from Leaf Studio, and it's got a little homage to Lou Gehrig on the back, and it is just cool. It is Donnie, the old stadium. He's got the old jersey on, the old mid on, and it was $2. Although we bundled a deal with this, so we got that one, and I checked. We do not have it. Congratulations to me. Then we picked up from the same guy. We bundled all this together. We picked up a 64 Topps coin of Mr. Mickey Mantle. I wonder. Let's just do it that way. It might look better. These are beautiful. A little scratching. Yeah, they get good close. There you go. You can see now. Beautiful Mantle Topps coins. Did not have these two. If I have one of them, I might have one of them. I don't know. I bundled them together. He gave me a good deal. I got these two Mantle Top coins and the Mattingly for $45, which is not terrible. So basically I paid like, 20 bucks a coin for that condition. They've been used. They're loved. That one's a little better than a lefty. That way. Closer. There you go. So we got two Mantle Topps coins. And that Donnie Baseball for 45 bucks from that guy. Made a new connection. What a good dealer. Had a nice long chat with him. So that was fun. And then finally, we were walking out of that show. And I looked through this guy's case. He's there. He's got a long, long table of vintage. And I looked at him last time. And this guy had a nice Phil Rizzuto I almost bought, which I did not buy. But I thought it was a little heavy on the price. But we worked a deal out. I saw a couple cards on the way in. I re-looked at them on the way out. And we picked them up. We picked up a 64. Double! It's a double. The one we have, 54, sorry, not 64, is completely chewed up on the bottom. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll remember I bought that. I rescued that one that's completely chewed up on the bottom. Well, this one is not chewed up. It's a 3. 54 Whitey Ford. I got a good deal. We'll talk about the deal. This has a nice honest corners, no major issues, little surfacey stuff. It'll fit well in the collection. Love that card, love the blue, always love that baby blue. We also picked up this card from that dealer on the way out the door in a 3 if you care of such things, the 53 Bowman color Billy Martin. Again, little surfacey issues, nothing major, no creasing, nothing like that. Larry. Billy. Grabbing that ball. Not a stage photo. That was a live action shot. And then finally, we picked up the Whitey Ford 53 Bowman color. Beautiful. In A1. Now, I do have to apologize for this card. Apologize. Why is it a 1? That's why. 53 Bowman color, Ed Whitey Ford. Glued somewhere at some point by somebody. Probably a child. But it is beautiful on the front. Nicey nice. And I don't know about the glare, guys. Ever since I changed the table, the whole vibe is different. It looks like that on the back. It looks like this on the front. So, we picked the 53 Bowman Whitey, Billy, and this one. I threw these all together. I said, give me a number. He gave me a number. I said, how about 120 bucks? He said, let's do it. So for 40, 40, and 40, I'll take it anytime. However you want to split up the deal, I will take it. That is a good deal for me. A couple cards I've always wanted from the Bowman color, and a little non-shoot up Whitey Ford, not super high grade, save a little cash for bigger things. That was Garfield. We then hit the road. We hit the road from Garfield and rolled up to Parsippany, New Jersey to the Police Athletic League and hit the card show. And there's a lot of Pokemon. That show does have big Pokemon feel sometimes. There's two rooms. The second room had Pokemon only. The other room had Pokemon and cards. Not a ton of vintage. Never usually is. I kind of knew that going in. The Hamburg show promised to probably have more vintage, but it's a smaller show. And I did not buy anything in Parsippany. We did not make a pickup. We paid $5 at the door and wandered around for a good hour or so and made no pickups. We did find one guy who had a couple interesting things. We looked at a 60 Mantle in a 3. He was a little high, not super high, but a little higher than I wanted to be. We talked about it. It was really dead-centered, but it had a little something, but it didn't bother me too much at the right price, but he wanted to be a little higher than I thought it was worth. I'd prefer to have that card in a higher grade anyway, so we passed him on that deal. Do not buy cards just because you're at a card show, unless you buy all this stuff. And there was one other interesting card in that room. That was a 59 for like 2K. 59 Mantle. It was beautiful. Dead centered 6. But 2K is really high for that card. But it was really nice. But I looked at it for a minute. There's a fly in the room. Fly in the basement. It is a bee. Why is there a bee in the basement? That is not good. Are they in the walls? That's a bee. We'll have to check out that situation after the show. Flew right over my head. That dealer, he knew it was nice. He had it labeled up, and it was a nice card, but he was strong on it. And I did look at a 56 Mantle, which was nice, in a 4 that was really dead centered, but I wasn't feeling it today. So we did not pick up anything major. And I am routinely finding, as I go to smaller shows, I'm finding less and less good deals on bigger cards, and obviously there's going to be less bigger cards in the room, but when there's less bigger cards in the room, I do find that the prices of the bigger cards that are in the room seem to be higher and less negotiable. I'm finding much more success at bigger regional shows like White Plains, Shriners, and Strongsville, Philly show, and obviously National. So I do think I'm going to kind of try to key on the more regional, bigger shows with my budget and not push myself as much to as many littler shows, although we did do 3 shows in one day. Garfield show is a great show. But the prices can be a little high down. It's North Jersey. They're just always a little higher than I like sometimes. So you see what we came home with. We came home with a lot of lower end stuff, cheaper stuff, but nothing hit me. Nothing hit me, and we will live to fight another day. Next big show, I believe, is Shriners. I don't have a ton on the table before then. That's about a month. I do plan on going probably to the Friday. I'm not sure, though, but I might go to the Friday, the Shriners, and that'll be an all-day thing. And we'll go from there. Then we have the National lined up. We've booked the room for the National. The room is booked Thursday through Sunday. Check out Sunday. So I am booked. I'm still thinking of driving my car 12 hours to Chicago. And my hotel is like 3 miles away up the streets to Wyndham. It's not that far, but it's, probably a long walk for 3 miles. It's weird. I Google mapped it. It's 3 miles. The average human should be able to walk 3 miles in about 15 minutes each mile. That's about 45 minutes. When I mapped the walk, it said an hour and 28 minutes. That's a long walk. If I can walk 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I might do it to save myself whatever kind of hot mess parking situation there is if you move your car 3 miles. But we will see. Maybe it's a very weird way to walk. I'm not sure. Have not been to Chicago National yet. All right, guys, that's what I got. A little long-winded, but it was 3 card shows in one day. We could not do 4. You may notice the cork board, courtesy of my friend Mookie Chilson in the background. We corked up the 79 tops that he gifted us at Strongsville. Would you like to see? Yeah, you would? Hold on, please. Here we go. Our Mookie Chilson homage. We place the pins in the exact pinholes very carefully and pinholed up our 79 tops gift from Mookie Chilson. Thank you very much. We will return it to its place of glory in the basement as I step over a 1984 Nestle full sheet that is being flattened under heavy weights. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. I hope you all have a great night, a great day. Happy Sunday. Yankees, Mets tonight. Rubber match. The rubber meets the road in Game 3 tonight. Yankees will win. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Getting ready for Knicks Pacers, as I predicted. Thank you very much. And I don't know, isn't there a game on now? The Nuggets, right? Yeah. I don't know. If the Nuggets beat OKC, good luck beating Jokic because he's the best player left in the tournament. If they win tonight, or right now. So there you go. Everyone have a great one. I'll see you later.